UNWTO wants WTTC to fail. Mexico and the Dominican Republic played by Zurab Pololikashvili. Travel and tourism is on the verge. Millions of jobs at stake and UNWTO Secretary General declares war against WTTC. The World Tourism Council urgent needed cooperation turns into a conflict with Mexico and the Dominican Republic caught in a crossfire. Where will tourism go with the UN agency in charge of wanting to destroy a badly needed conversation with private sector leaders? Zurab is not stupid as the world was thinking. He is mean. A bad person. These are the words of Jürgen Steinmetz, founder of the World Tourism Network and publisher of eTurboNews. Boycotting the work WTTC is doing is like a slap in the face to the largest travel and tourism businesses the World Travel and Tourism Council is representing. Gloria Guevara mentioned in a conversation, "Our members are furious." The UNWTO Secretary General, Zurab Pololikashvili, is now trying to boycott our event. I am both sad and upset. This is the time the sector needs leaders to work together, not to boycott. Global Guevara has been fighting like no one else to keep the global travel and tourism industry together and functioning from the minute the pandemic broke out. Gloria and I have not always had the same opinion in regards to how we can combat this crisis, but we respect each other, Jürgen said. All of us understood that it was only through working together that would move us forward. The UNWTO Secretary General asking key leaders to attend a UNWTO event put together at the last minute on exactly the same day is insulting not only to WTTC, but to the world and the United Nations system as a whole. The Dominican Republic co-hosting such an event where many member companies of WTTC do business is very short-sighted. Tourism is a major part of the Dominican Republic's GDP, and it should be in the interest of the DR government to respect and work with both the public and the private sector. Gloria Guevara from Mexico is the CEO of the London-based World Travel and Tourism Council WTTC, a London-based organization with 200+ of the largest companies in the world in travel and tourism. Many say WTTC represents the private sector of world tourism, while the World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, is supposed to represent the public sector as an UN-affiliated agency. Zurab Pololikashvili, 44, from the Republic of Georgia is the current UNWTO Secretary General. Up until the end of 2017, UNWTO and WTTC operated like Siamese twins in the global world of travel and tourism. This was under the leadership of Dr. Taleb Rifai from Jordan, as the former UNWTO Secretary General before Pololikashvili. Dr. Taleb Rifai and David Scousil. The World Travel and Tourism Council is seen as the global authority on the economic and social contributions of travel and tourism. Before the change in the UNWTO leadership, the former CEO of WTTC, David Scousil, and Dr. Taleb Rifai had been working hand in hand to develop this important global industry. All of this changed on January 1, 2018, when Zurab took over. UNWTO became a closed organization. Favoritism in return for votes was the priority even when the world started going through the most devastating crisis ever, COVID-19. There has not been one press conference where non-conforming media has been allowed to attend or ask questions. UNWTO started to see WTTC as a competitor and not as a partner. The former Secretary General Dr. Taleb Rifai was no longer welcome to attend important events, such as the UNWTO General Assembly. Gloria Guevara was not allowed to speak at such events and was seated in the last row. The world stopped looking at UNWTO. But who else is there to turn to in the public sector? Zurab has boycotted events like the World Travel Market, IATA, ICAO events, and many more. At the same time, people working at UNWTO have voiced their frustration in secret, but they are not willing to publicly make statements, as they are worried about their jobs if they say anything the Secretary General will not like. In January, Zurab made it impossible for another candidate to get a fair shake in the Secretary General election, assuring he would keep this prestigious title for another 4 years. An insider at UNWTO told eTurboNews, he is very divisive and always boycotting events and initiatives that are not his. Gloria Guevara has been trying to pull together the most important event for the private and public sectors since the pandemic broke out. The WTTC Summit is designed to get world tourism leaders to meet at the upcoming Global Summit in Cancun. Against all odds and despite new record COVID-19 data in Mexico as well as a third wave, WTTC is determined to make the Global Summit 2021 a breakthrough event to put the future of travel and tourism on the best possible track. The highly anticipated WTTC 20th Global Summit was organized in partnership with the government of Quintana Roo and will be held in Cancun, Mexico, from April 25-27, 2021. Nothing has been spared to make this event safe and effective for those attending physically or virtually. A government official from Mexico also told eTurboNews that the country is upset about UNWTO and the Dominican Republic for sabotaging this highly anticipated event in Cancun. Here is how this whole fiasco started. Last month, as a sign of confidence in Dominican tourism, UNWTO Secretary General Zurab Pololikashvili was vacationing in the Dominican Republic with his family. To turn his visit into an all-inclusive working mission, he took the opportunity to visit President Luis Abinader on his last day of rest, and told the Tourism Minister David Collado that the Dominican Republic is a safe place to visit, saying that the Dominican Republic is an example in the world of how tourism can be managed with responsible protocols in the time of COVID-19, managing to attract international tourists with health security. He Minister of Tourism Dominican Republic David Collado, and UNWTO Secretary General Zurab Pololikashvili. Most likely cashing in on an agreed favor to the Secretary General, the UNWTO and the Ministry of Tourism for the Dominican Republic sent a letter to the Ministers of Tourism and industry leaders in the Americas, including the United States, yesterday. The letter reads: I am pleased to send attached an invitation from UNWTO Secretary General, Mr. Zurab Pololikashvili, and the Minister of Tourism of Dominican Republic, Mr. David Collado, to attend the meeting of the Ministers of Tourism of the Americas, to be held from 26 to April 28, 2021 in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Kind regards. Esther Ruiz, Regional Department for the Americas, ruiz@unwto.org. Today, a government official in the Dominican Republic confirmed to a source that they had a different date for their meeting agreed on during Zurab's working family holiday. It was Zurab Pololikashvili who now requested the change the meeting to the same date so he can crash the WTTC summit.